Have you ever wondered what space actually sounds like? These sounds are not staged. They are real radio waves emitted from Saturn, screaming into the void. Saturn is not as beautiful as you might think. It is a floating hell, ready to crush anything that touches it into dust. Welcome to the universe's greatest nightmare. And by the end of this video, you will understand why even our most advanced spacecraft struggle to survive encounters with it. For centuries, we've treated it like a jewel. The jewel of the solar system. A golden giant with a shimmering halo, drifting peacefully through the dark. We call it beautiful, but that beauty is the deadliest trap of all. How many moons does Saturn really have? And have you ever looked up at the sky and thought you were seeing Saturn when it was actually just a very bright star? Saturn is a planet in our solar system. It's the sixth planet from the Sun, sitting between Jupiter and Uranus. In real distance, Saturn is an average of 886 million miles from the Sun. Because it orbits the Sun like Earth does, that distance can vary from 839 million to 934 million miles. And while people have known Saturn existed for thousands of years, the first official telescopic observation and recorded notes of Saturn were made by Galileo Galilei in July 1610. Saturn's orbital period is about 29 Earth years. That means 1 year on Saturn equals more than 29 years on Earth. So technically on Saturn, I'd be just 1 year old, not 30. A day on Saturn is about 10.7 hours long, because that's how long it takes Saturn to spin once on its axis. Compared to Earth's 24-hour day, Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system, sitting right behind that massive show-off Jupiter. And honestly, considering its size, it's no surprise that you can see Saturn with the naked eye from Earth. With a telescope, even a small one, you can usually make out Saturn's rings. Saturn has a radius of 36,183.6 kilometers, not counting the rings. Compared to Earth, you'd need about 9 Earths lined up side by side to match Saturn's width. For the overall scale, NASA says that if Earth were the size of a nickel, Saturn would be about the size of a volleyball. To push the comparison even further, over 700 Earths could fit inside Saturn. I'd love to animate that, but my computer would absolutely melt. This colossal entity is made almost entirely of hydrogen and helium, drifting like a ring giant, beautiful and dangerously so. Its signature rings glitter under sunlight, dazzling from a distance. It spins at a dizzying near maximum rate. But every fragment out there is a frozen threat, a lethal maze in orbit. Beneath the calm-looking surface, violent storms rage non-stop, fueled by invisible heat rising from deep inside the planet. The centrifugal force from that rapid rotation is so powerful it warps Saturn's physical structure. It's no longer a perfect sphere. It's flattened and distorted, shaped into a strange bulging form. That constant motion puts terrifying stress on everything around it. Surrounded by dozens of moons, Saturn's gravity is brutally strong, pulling anything nearby into its vast sphere of influence. Winds blasting past 1,000 kilometers per hour shred the clouds faster than any storm on Earth. Its pull isn't protective, it's destructive. It has torn apart unlucky moons that strayed too close to its control. Then it crushed their remains and turned the debris into decoration around itself. Getting anywhere near its rings is deadly. Even a tiny fragment can destroy a spacecraft instantly. And when darkness falls across the rings, Saturn reveals the violence hiding beneath its beauty. The title Lord of Chaos is built on the corpses of other worlds. This is chaos with intent. Hit subscribe so you can join us as we tear into the darkest corners of the solar system. And if you're ready to face the nightmare called Saturn, leave a like to prove it. At Saturn, the normal rules of fluid dynamics seem to break down. Instead of smooth, circular swirls, an extremely powerful jet stream has carved out a hexagon with straight edges and sharp angles. The structure is enormous, large enough to fit 4 Earths inside it. Towering storm walls rise like cliffs, plunging hundreds of kilometers down into the thick atmosphere. At the center of this unnatural shape is a massive storm eye, a glowing red abyss formed by perpetual hurricanes. It has existed and stayed active for decades, creating a vortex that never truly ends. About every 30 years, a phenomenon called the Great White Spot erupts. It's a storm system on a devastating scale, powerful enough to spread and wrap around the planet's entire circumference. The electrical energy blasting out from the storm's core reaches a terrifying level. Now imagine a thunderstorm covering the entire Earth, firing off lightning 10,000 times stronger than anything our world has ever seen. It dredges up Saturn's signature white ammonia ice clouds from deep below, turning a once golden planet into a ghost. Saturn is the king of a massive entourage with over 140 moons, but one of them feels like an impostor, Titan. Titan is the only moon in the solar system with a thick, dense atmosphere. This is the only moon with a truly dense atmosphere, creating surface air pressure that's even higher than Earth's. But that similarity is only a lethal disguise. Instead of water, the weather system here runs on liquid methane and ethane. Rains of liquefied natural gas pound down into rivers and lakes under an extreme temperature of minus 109 or 79 degrees Celsius. In these conditions, any organic structure exposed to the environment would freeze instantly. Even the landscape is hostile. Massive dunes made of static-charged hydrocarbon grains, moving with the wind and ready to bury anything in their path. And after Titan's toxicity comes a violent physical conflict on Enceladus. In contrast to its quiet white ice ball appearance, this moon is being tortured by immense forces. At the South Pole, long blue fractures appear like gashes ripped straight across the surface. From these openings, jets of water vapor blast into space at supersonic speed. This happens because Saturn's gravity constantly kneads and distorts Enceladus, generating enormous internal friction and heat deep within its core. That brutal squeezing is exactly what keeps a hidden ocean alive beneath the thick ice shell, and the water down there isn't pure. It's a mix of salts, heat, and organic molecules. These are the basic ingredients for life. But they exist in a trapped world, locked under pressure and temperatures that never stop shifting. The existence of a warm ocean inside a frozen body creates a contradiction that feels both astonishing and terrifying. When images from the Cassini mission were sent back to Earth in 2006, scientists discovered a second hexagon inside the larger hexagon. The universe does not tolerate permanence, and Saturn is the ultimate executioner of its own legacy. After 13 years of continuous surveillance, the Cassini spacecraft reached the end of its functional existence in 2017. NASA engineers issued a final command that forced the machine into a terminal descent. This was not a peaceful retirement. It was a calculated destruction. The objective was to prevent any biological contamination from Earth from reaching the moons like Enceladus, to protect the potential for alien life. The creators of Cassini chose to incinerate their own creation within the crushing depths of the gas giant. The final moments of the spacecraft were defined by a violent struggle against physics. As Cassini breached the outer atmosphere, the friction generated extreme heat and immense pressure. The machine fought to keep its antenna pointed toward Earth, transmitting data until the very last millisecond. The atmospheric forces eventually overcame the structural integrity of the craft. Saturn's gravity pulled the metal frame apart, shredding the instruments and vaporizing every component into hot gas. In an instant, over a decade of human engineering was erased, absorbed into the chaotic storms of the planet, This destruction of human technology serves as a precursor to a much larger planetary-scale disappearance. The iconic rings of Saturn, which have defined its appearance for eons, are currently undergoing a process of total liquidation. This phenomenon, documented as ring rain, is a relentless gravitational theft. The planet is actively pulling massive quantities of ice and rock out of orbit and dragging them down into its burning atmosphere. This is a continuous act of self-consumption. Every second, tons of material vanish, falling toward the core where they are destroyed by the planet's internal heat. Within 100 million years, the rings will cease to exist. The material that creates the planet's distinctive silhouette will be entirely depleted. The gravitational hunger of Saturn ensures that no part of this structure will remain. Once the rings are gone, the visual identity of the planet will be permanently altered. Saturn will become just another lonely gas giant in the dark. So look at it while you still can. Its rings are a temporary masterpiece of gravity and violence. A beautiful trap that pulled us across the solar system just to remind us how small we really are.